Firstly, the fashion. Phenomenal. That is very much adequate. By the way, I know how pretentious this is. This is a lot harder than those aesthetic Instagram accounts make it look. How long do we reckon it'll take before I knock one of these over? I don't think that went well at all. Hello everyone, my name is Jack Edwards and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, we are going to be trying out a trend or aesthetic that I have been seeing across the World Wide Web, and that trend is dark academia. It just completely fascinates me. Basically, dark academia sort of romanticizes education and learning, especially the classics, and that incorporates literature, music, films, activities, and to be honest, I have FOMO, so we are going to be attempting, emphasis on attempting, to make dark academia dark jackademia. I'm here all week.
On tonight's program, ladies and gentlemen, we have something that's gonna make you sick.
So I have been preparing for this video in the only way I know how, and that is by creating a mood board. As you can see, there's a really specific color palette going on here. This footwear is particularly fascinating to me. How are they holding a cigarette with their shoes? I'm seeing some screenshots from the film Dead Poets Society, so definitely going to need to add that to my list. Oh, dark academia aesthetic. Okay, books and classical music I can do. Writing with a typewriter. I have a typewriter. Black coffee, sure. Existentialism. Oh hell, I've had enough existential crises to last me a lifetime in the past year alone. I can't even pretend that's not true. I had yellow hair for like 6 months and I can't go back to that place. So existentialism we might skip. Letter writing could be interesting. Art, I pretend I do not see. Okay, that is significantly more helpful than the footwear holding a cigarette. There's lots of formal wear, seeing lots of ties, sweater vests, jumpers under suits. Honestly, I feel underdressed just looking at these pictures. Okay, Daniel Radcliffe in the film Kill Your Darlings is iconic. I think we're gonna need to try and recreate that exact thing. One problem I'm noticing is that everyone is significantly more attractive than I am. Oh, perfect. I'll just have a child. Oh, what does this one say? Books, not guns. Culture, not violence. You know, fundamentally I agree, but it's a bit cringy. You know what I'm noticing is that everyone just looks a lot richer than I am. Listen, my taste in fashion and my budget for fashion are two very different things right now. These people definitely shop in Waitrose, and I'm more of an Aldi kind of boy myself. So, you know, I think we're gonna need to be realistic about what we can actually achieve here. Now for the best bit, which is doing some online shopping. And thankfully, our sponsor for today is ShopTagger, who are making this whole video possible. So thank you, ShopTagger, I love ya. Now, ShopTagger is an app and Chrome extension which is basically the world's most efficient shopping assistant because it automatically applies discounts and coupon codes to your basket so you don't have to find them. So I've been using the Chrome extension, and while I was shopping around and looking for the supplies that I needed for this video, I basically added them all to this sort of virtual basket. And then ShopTagger just let me know when there were discounts or price drops on any of these items, which is so handy. They've also just released a feature where you can get cashback from particular retailers. Here I've got my list, so if I just want to see items and not fashion, I can. And keeping everything in these lists helps you shop more meaningfully and with less impulse buys. And it's honestly just very clever tech, which I'm appreciating because it's getting me a little Brucey bargain. I'll pop the link down below for you guys to download it because this is game changing. So I'm thinking that the staple dark academia footwear is Doc Martens. So we're just gonna do a little search for those. Oh, these ones are just superb. Add them to the basket and then we'll see if ShopTagger can find us a little discount code. Oh, well there you go, what an absolute result. Like I said, the link will be down below and I'm gonna carry on with my shopping spree. Good morning, it is day one of living my dark academia fantasy, and I have started the day by reading this book right here. This is The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I feel like this is just a staple in the dark academia canon. It's basically a book about an elite group of classic students. Oh, and also I feel like this bookmark from Blackwell's in Oxford definitely has the sort of dark academia vibes. So, you know, we're smashing it so far. So this is my day one outfit. I have this jumper that I thrifted one time on. It is so ridiculous, but so unique. And then I've paired that with these trousers, which are from ASOS, and they're tapered and pleated. Super nice. I've been working today. I actually work as a research assistant in the publishing industry, which I think is quite a dark academia sort of profession, so absolutely nailed that one. But all of the bits that I ordered online have now arrived, so let's go and have a look. Firstly, I ordered a bunch of sweater vests from Zara. These, bizarrely, even though I ordered them all in the same size, fit me completely differently. So this is the only one I think I can actually work with, but it's very hard to tell on Zara because the models are like lunging in all these different weird, wacky positions. It's hard to tell what the clothes actually look like. So that was a bit hit or miss. The next thing was a success, and they were these sweaters and sweater vests from M&S. From my very detailed and sophisticated research, I kind of saw that layering was very important, and these have a V-neck, which I didn't really own anything like that. So I thought this would be useful for displaying a shirt collar or a tie if I'm feeling fancy. So another win. Speaking of wins, Hawes & Curtis pulled through. This shirt is exactly what I was looking for. It's kind of like a linen material. And what I noticed is that people who are doing this dark academia trend often look effortless. And so I've put in quite a lot of effort to make myself look effortless. This is a blazer that I saw on the Hawes & Curtis website, and I saved it to my shop tagger kind of wish list. And at the time, it was just a bit too expensive to justify buying just for the purposes of looking like Daniel Radcliffe. However, 2 days later, shop tagger let me know that this had been reduced to like 35 quid, which for a blazer is really good. Chuffed with that. And then we have the piece de resistance. Actually, referencing other languages is very dark academia. Even being in the presence of these shoes is making me a better person. I am ridiculously excited because I've always wanted a pair of these shoes. These are just what the doctor ordered. If your doctor is Dr. Martin. These are the shoes of dreams. Oh, look at that beauty. I feel like Steve Irwin when he captured a crocodile. I honestly don't think I would have bitten the bullet if it wasn't for that Shop Tagger discount, so thank you Shop Tagger, you legends. I also bought some more books which I thought sort of fit with the aesthetic. These candlesticks and 2 candlestick holders. This right here is a calligraphy set. Oh lord. Okay, that looks like advanced level. Oh wow, look at this. That looks like Draco Malfoy's wand. Okay, I can already tell I'm gonna suck at that. This is wax, which I think you melt, and then you can wax seal a letter. And I also got this custom stamper, which has a J on it. How nuts is that? Do you reckon I take everything way too far? Because I do. I think that's everything. Oh, I also ordered some pot noodle, but like, that's not as important. Oh, and I also bought these reading glasses. These were partly for the video and partly just out of necessity because I can't see. Basically, my contact lenses aren't strong enough, but it's so expensive to get the next prescription up, so I just thought, you know what? These were £2 on Amazon. I also bought this pair. I think I need them a bit more round. Anyway, Jeff Bezos 2, Jack nil. Okay, it is day 2 of my dark academia odyssey. This is today's look. It is very much inspired, well, it's completely ripping off Daniel Radcliffe in Kill Your Darlings. This could be the prime example of what you ordered versus what arrived. You know, expectation versus reality. Sometimes we just gotta work with the face that we were given. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I wish that I had a reason to dress like this all of the time. However, I work from home and I'm doing this lockdown completely on my own. So I just don't think there's anyone to appreciate the effort that has gone into this. I didn't have work today, so I've managed to finish off this book. This is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I kind of liked that all of the characters were just so flawed. The middle of the book is a little bit slow, but the end has so many twists and turns. I was gripped. It's so rich and so dense, but it did make me feel quite stupid a lot of times. This book is all about a very elitist group, and there are so many classical references. It's like Donna Tartt put a whole degree's worth of knowledge in this book. Overall, I thought it was very elegant, very playful, very ridiculous, and it definitely has some very dark and controversial moments, so I can see why this is the ultimate dark academia book. On the complete other end of the spectrum, we have this book by Stephen Fry. This is Heroes, and this is the follow-up to his book Mythos, which was all about Greek gods and goddesses. So this book covers the mythological stories of Jason, of Heracles, of Theseus, of Perseus, and so many more. It's playful, it's accessible, Stephen Fry's humor comes through on every single page. There's so many amazing one-liners, and this and Mythos are just much less intimidating ways of consuming mythology. On a serious note, what else should we do today? Because this outfit is making me feel like I could conquer the world. Or teach geography. Okay, not gonna lie, I'm feeling significantly less cool now that I've realized that my flies were undone the entire time. For this evening's activity, I am going to attempt to read by candlelight, which is something I've never done before. And the reason for that is that, well, firstly, we have electricity, and secondly, I'm really clumsy, as you can see. At least we know that no matter what happens, it will be lit. Oh, and there's 2. They just make me kind of nervous because literally everything in my flat is wooden, so if anything goes wrong, it's over. And basically I've got like 30 pages left of Heroes by Stephen Fry, and then I'm going to move on to this one. This is My Year of Rest and Relaxation. You know, I'm looking at these candles right now and I can see 4 of them with these glasses on. Maybe these are not so good. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is fun! Wait, why do I kind of love this? No, for real though, the vibes are immaculate. How long do we reckon it'll take before I knock one of these over? I guess I'll catch you tomorrow. Hello everybody and welcome to day 2. I am once again cosplaying as Daniel Radcliffe. Here he is in all his glory on the set of his hit motion picture, and here I am doing my best. I've even tried to match the color of the trousers. I've gone in. Maybe it's weird at this point. Maybe I'm a weirdo. This was actually my old school tie. But listen, we don't have the Hollywood movie wardrobe budget. We've got to work with what we've got. I just think we're being resourceful. I feel like I've mentioned that film a lot of times without actually explaining what it is, but basically it is the film that inspired this whole video. It's a film about the Beat generation of writers. So you have Allen Ginsberg, the poet, Lucien Carr, and Jack Kerouac, who wrote On the Road, and how this chorus of incredibly talented writers sort of collided in their time at Columbia University. And they're all very anti-establishment and irreverent, and it's chaotic and just a fun time. Well, not that much of a fun time because someone does get murdered. But for today's Dark Academia task, I am going to typewrite a letter. You may have noticed in earlier clips of my mirror that next to it is my typewriter, and she is an absolute stunner. I guess you could say she's just my type. Actually, I wish I hadn't said that. The reason that I haven't really used this as much as I would like to is because it's really old. And while that definitely adds to the charm, by the way, how fun is this? It also means that you kind of need to press every single letter about 3 times for it to actually make a mark. So it actually takes a really long time to write anything. You know what? Today, I have the time. Well, do I? Today I'm making time. But, you know, we'll see. Oh, that came out okay. By the way, I know how pretentious this is. And I've written down what I want to say on my phone so that I don't completely mess it up. See, sometimes the keys get stuck. Okay, it's taking some time, but it's worth it. Oh my god, should I do this by candlelight? Okay, the letter is like half done, half baked. I feel so pathetic saying this, but it's genuinely exhausting because I just don't want to mess it up, so I'm so focused that it's not relaxing at all. One thing that was relaxing though was this playlist. This is a Dark Academia playlist, which kind of consisted of movie soundtracks and classical compositions. And I don't know, it just kind of made me feel powerful. Like these playlists give you dangerous levels of main character energy. And I will catch up with you tomorrow evening because I've got work tomorrow morning, and best believe I will be listening to Dark Academia soundtracks all day, and so I will see you then. Good morning. These are the clothes that are on my body. That's right, fashion vloggers, pack it up. Did I get this dressed up just to go to the supermarket? That's none of your business. And I'm going to listen to this podcast on BBC Sounds. It's called The World Book Club, and this episode is with Bernardine Evaristo, who wrote Girl, Woman, Other, which is an awesome book. Oh, I kind of look like an extra from The Great Gatsby who got cut from the film. But I finished my work for the day, I finished my typewritten letter, and now I'm going to try my hand at calligraphy. I know it's going to go terribly. You know, people quite often tell me that I have doctor's handwriting, and I don't think they mean that as a compliment. Also, my calligraphy kit is definitely overcompensating for the lack of ability I'm about to show. This piece of kit is very confusing to me because it looks like you should be going expecto patronum. Actually, I probably shouldn't wave that around because that looks like it could poke my eye out. I'm gonna put some newspaper down because this desk cost me one of my kidneys and I'm not ruining it right now. At first, I thought I would do my calligraphy on the envelope for the typewritten letter, but then I just thought, baby steps. If I can get one nice word on this piece of paper, I will be elated. Oh, goodness me. Something tells me this might be quite messy. So I guess we just dip that in the ink. Wait, this is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be hard, but this is harder. How do you get the line to be thicker? It's so annoying just running out of ink all the time. Honestly, I can see why they invented biros. This is a lot harder than those aesthetic Instagram accounts make it look. You know, for a second now, I did genuinely consider just cutting this whole segment out of the vlog and just never mentioning it ever again. You would never know, but I'm choosing to be honest and share my moment of vulnerability. Oh, I kind of did something, but I think I did it by accident. Is it narcissistic that all I could think to write was just my name hundreds of times? You know what? I don't think I have the patience for this. I wrote a bunch of lines and one good word. What more do you want from me? Sometimes we just have to accept our own mediocrity. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Well, that was stressful and I never want to do it ever again. I don't think that went well at all. I think I managed a grand total of one good word. This J is the only thing I'm kind of happy with. Yeah, let's all agree to never talk about that ever again. Can I just say, I have been scrubbing these hands and the ink is not coming off. Now this just serves as a constant reminder of what a disappointment I am. The one benefit of this that I can think of is that in the olden days, there wouldn't have been an equivalent to drunk texting because, firstly, the drunk calligraphy would just be illegible, problem solved. And also, I think I'd sober up by the time I'd finished writing one of these things. Have I just broken that? Oh, okay, no, it goes back in. Never mind. Okay, I feel like that was one big fail. I've kind of been scrubbing my hands, so it no longer looks like I've been in a brawl with a squid. However, one productive thing I did achieve today was finishing my year of rest and relaxation. This book is candid, raw, honest. It's not necessarily dark academia, but it is dark. And it basically documents this one woman's battle with depression. And it's written so well that you actually feel like you're inside her brain and you can feel how lethargic she is and how pointless everything seems. And she essentially decides to take a year of hibernation from the world where she just completely disconnects. One real strength of this book, I think, is that it details different types of depression, and it is electrifying. I don't know necessarily whether I would recommend it to specific people because you just don't know what they've been through and whether this would be a good thing for them to read, because it's a heavy read, but it is compelling. So there's my little review, and now I am gonna head to bed. See you tomorrow! Hello, you little beauties. This is today's outfit. What do you think of this tie? I absolutely love it. I bought it for £6 from Old Spitalfields Market one time. And would you believe it's from Christian Dior? Or at least the label that's been sewn into it by the market stall owner says Christian Dior. Maybe I'm a sucker, I don't care. So I've just got back from a walk down Camden Canal, and these docks have served me so well. I've kind of been breaking them in at home, but they only really started to hurt my feet right at the very end of my walk. But anyway, I was listening to an audiobook on LibriVox. LibriVox is an app with a vast library of books that are out of copyright, and you can download them all for free, so great way of consuming more literature. I listened to the 6 creepy stories of Edgar Allan Poe because I love this man. I'm an Edgar Allan ho. Well, I love his writing. I think he might have married his 13-year-old cousin, so we don't necessarily condone his actions as a human, but these stories were creepy and sinister and dark and gory, and that is what dark academia is all about. I'm finding increasingly that all of the dark academia sort of canon features murder in some capacity, so I think I'm gonna stick to reading about murder rather than like murdering. Unless it's murder on the dance floor, I'm not interested. I don't think you can even see that, but I would highly recommend the creepy stories of Edgar Allan Poe. You still can't see it. This evening, I'm going to be watching The Riot Club, which is a kind of dark academia film. I'm not gonna lie, my room is kind of giving me more strip club vibes than dark academia right now, but we're working with what we have, and at the moment it is this red neon light. Okay, I've just finished with the film now. Why does it sound like someone's trying to break into my flat? Oh, it's just my neighbor taking his bins out. Never mind. False alarm! So, The Riot Club is basically a parody of the Bullingdon Club, who were an elitist society at Oxford University, who were just scandalous and obnoxious, and their former members include David Cameron and Boris Johnson. That bit's not the parody, that's actual real life. The Riot Club is basically a fictionalized version of the Bullingdon Club. I thought the film, as a kind of commentary on that, was really interesting, and there's a massive twist at the end which I did not see coming. So I enjoyed watching it. It was very much dark academia vibes. It makes Oxford look beautiful, although I did basically hate every single character, aside from Lauren, who is basically our working class hero. And I would really like a follow-up film where it's just based on her and her time at Oxford and her imposter syndrome, and we stand Lauren, honestly. So now I'm gonna go to bed. Goodbye! Day 6. Day 6. Is it? Day 6? Listen, we all know this, numbers are not my strong point. However, today I'm hoping that wax sealing an envelope will be my strong point. This is the letter that I wrote on my typewriter, and I'm really hoping that I'm not going to accidentally destroy it, because then I will actually cry, but I feel like it's more fun now that it's risky. The stakes are high. Once again, I have not watched a tutorial on how to do this, but that is all the fun of the circus. I'm basically guessing, based on what was in this little pack, I reckon we need to melt these bits of wax in this spoon. I don't know how many to use. Maybe I'll start with one and see how much that is. Okay, one's in. Nothing's happening. You know, we could be here a while. Oh, it's starting to melt, it's starting to melt. Guys, I took my eye off the ball. The candle went out. That was not part of the plan. Oh my god, I've just done it again. The next step terrifies me because I think it's gonna happen very quickly. And basically, I'm going to tip the hot wax onto this point in the middle of the envelope and then press it down with this little piece of kit. Ah, I'm quite nervous. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ah, my god. Oh my god, how long do I keep this on for? Okay, okay. Okay, wait, what the hell? That's not terrible. Not bad for a boy with no talent, huh? That is very much adequate, and I will take adequate. Adequate is my perfect. Wait, I want to do another one. Okay, round 2. Let's go, baby. Oh my god, this is so fun. I want to do this for everything. Watch me start wax sealing my ASOS returns. I'm not even joking. If you are looking for a little lockdown activity, I cannot recommend this enough. This is enormous fun. And if you're wondering what I'll be doing until June 21st, it's this. Also today I finished reading this book. This is Dead Poets Society, and I also watched the film version with Robin Williams in it. This was so charming. It's just about a group of guys who fall in love with literature and poetry, and it's very wholesome and pure. And even though these boys are still very privileged, there doesn't seem to be that elitism that we see elsewhere. And there's lots of references to Byron, Keats, and Shelley, but they're all kind of explained. And basically, Mr. Keating, who is played by Robin Williams, is an English teacher who doesn't want to follow the textbook way of teaching poetry. He wants them to actually feel and experience the poetry. And I was living for it. So I enjoyed this. I did think that the plot was kind of basic, but it was easy reading, easy watching. I definitely recommend watching the film over reading the book. Shock, horror, I know, but yeah, big fan. Okay, this final outfit may be the most ridiculous one, but I love it. I mean, the color of this suit is just superb. I feel like I need to go tell someone that they're fired. And now that I've essentially dedicated a week of my life to dark academia, I thought it would be interesting to do a wrap up of my thoughts on the trend, the aesthetic, and the mindset of dark academia. Firstly, the fashion. Phenomenal. Do I have a practical use for this style of clothing in my day-to-day life? No. Is that gonna stop me? Absolutely not. The music, the color palette, also fantastic. However, what I did find is that most of the media, the photos, the films, the literature, everything like that, everyone is white. All of the source material for this aesthetic is so whitewashed, and I hate the idea that someone would be interested in this kind of thing and then be put off because they don't recognize themselves in any of the media. Further to that, every description of a character or every photo of a person was male, so the source material is definitely incredibly problematic because it excludes more people than it accepts. And unfortunately, historically, education and the education system have been for rich white men. And also on that note, it really romanticizes boarding school and private school, paying for your education, and state school students are sort of left out of this narrative, especially because classics and ancient languages aren't accessible to everyone. They're not part of the compulsory curriculum for everyone. And that is unfortunately where dark academia, if taken at face value, can border on being quite problematic because it perpetuates intellectual snobbery and elitism and elitist institutions. Another thing I've kind of noticed is that dark academia, if taken completely literally, will encourage toxic productivity. And let me just say, you do not need to be working all the time. You do not need to burn yourself out to a point of exhaustion for the love of learning. Learning is meant to be fun. Sometimes the most productive thing you can possibly do is take a break. And that is why in this video I've sort of tried to show myself doing fun activities rather than just working myself to exhaustion. Overall, this just really brought me back to that place of imposter syndrome that I felt when I attended university, and I just felt like people were so much more intelligent and cultured and more well-rounded than I was. So I think it's also important to look at this trend and aesthetic critically. To be honest, I've had a fun week, but I would encourage you to tread carefully around these ideas. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, what gender you are, how you speak, or how much you already know, you can incorporate bits of this aesthetic into your lifestyle if you want. And it should be for everyone. So take it with a little pinch of salt. If you just love the fashion or the music or the colors or the books or anything like that, then embrace those aspects of this trend and enjoy it. Okay, this has been fun. I think we have managed to make dark academia dark jackademia, and it's been fun to experience and talk about. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below because I've put more effort into this video than I think I ever have before. I'm also going to try and incorporate these funky outfits into my Instagram, so if you want to go and join me over there, be my guest. Of course, a huge shout out to ShopTagger for making this whole video possible by sponsoring it. Thank you, and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye!
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.